I can't promise you'll feel better after this, but I guarantee we'll talk about it, we'll laugh about it, and we'll go on with our day. So I recommend grabbing your favorite drink, grab your smokes, and let's hash this shit out. This is Talking at You, Season 2. Well, hello, and welcome to Talking at You. It's been a while. It seems like, there's been it's always conspiracy crazy people out there, weird theories and all that stuff. But it seems like with the uprising of this solar eclipse crap, everybody's lost their minds that, we haven't gone to these before. Maybe this one's a little different, but at the very most, depending where you live, it's going to be like a 4-minute or something eclipse. For most cases, any other eclipse, we'd either work through it, not realize it was going until halfway into it, or whatever. For whatever reason, thanks to social media and craziness, and it's got to be, the brain, everybody's brains must be just shot from the virus or something. I don't know. I don't get it. It's just an eclipse. Now there's states, the crazy states, stuff like that, think that the government's going to shut everything down during the eclipse. I don't know. Or electric grid's going to go down. Stupid things that have never happened before. They're not going to happen now. The biggest problem is mostly just the people chasing the eclipse, which happens every eclipse. But this one, people are just, I don't know, they got nothing better to do. So yeah, it's the influx of people to these smaller areas. Some are bigger areas. They're not used to the huge crowds. There's people that chase this entire eclipse, the whole span of it. And they'll drive hours and hours just in the dark to watch whatever. I don't know. That makes sense. You're going to need more security. You're going to need more everything just to control of this huge crowd of people that are going to be in areas they're not normally at. So that makes sense. That's not conspiracy. That's just common sense thinking of security and safety of your people. Anyways. It just goes into other things, like you got aliens. That's a fun idea, right? Scares us up at night, but sure. Could there be aliens? Sure. What's your idea of what the aliens even are? Are we going to say there's other planets that have life? Yeah, it happened here. It could happen somewhere else. The same space rock traveled through space. It could have broke off. It could have done the same thing in anywhere that had any kind of water. So yeah, that's possible. And things evolved, I'm sure, different ways. So you got aliens that look not like us. Or you got the other side, which, I don't know, I've been over the years kind of veering away from the other planets and life forms to just, I don't know. I like conspiracies. I'm not saying I'm all in on this because, you got to have common sense. You got to be able to sleep at night. So maybe, there's theories out there that the Earth has gone through civilization cycles where we get to the point where we get so advanced, we do space travel, and then we move on to other planets, which, why isn't that an idea? We're already looking at it, so maybe next decade or two, we're going to be doing the same thing. And then, basically, we're leaving a planet because we're killing a planet. So if this has happened in previous civilizations where the planet is in dire straits and about ready to, what we think, die, we would leave, inhabit other planets, ecoform them, bioform, whatever you call it. We're already looking into that. Who's to say we didn't do that? We didn't leave and then realize, well, this planet didn't die. Apparently it did just fine without us. And then we decided to come back, at least look around. Maybe because we destroyed the last planet we just moved to and we need to get some resources. I don't know. So who's to say the aliens aren't just us coming back to get crap? But we don't want to let the current Earthlings know that there is life out there and it's us, because we don't want them coming to our planet. So, and that's how it works. We're not going to, open arms, come back and say, hey, come check out our place. No, we're looking at what you're doing. there's that. And then that one kind of sounds feasible. I mean, if we have technology to leave and go to other planets and live there, and hundreds, thousands of years we've managed to do something, it's possible. Whereas other life forms, aliens, sure. But it could be that Earth, maybe, you call it Earth 1. Maybe we're Earth 1. I don't know. Maybe we're Earth 10. Who knows? Maybe we are actually the only life forms in space. We are just the aliens. Maybe we evolved. Maybe we turn into some kind of freaky looking thing, just adapting to environments and stuff. Who knows? But that's one idea. If it's just a whole another civilization, aliens, I just don't know why, unless they're just coming here to get stuff from our one planet that we say there's thousands of out there. They're just coming to ours for some whatever reason. I just don't know. I mean, there's planets that are, I'm sure, all water, all resources of some kind. They don't have to come to ours and deal with this. They can just go to places and just get it from somewhere else. Unless we are the last living things in space, which I just can't believe that. Just because we are a mess. And one virus apparently made us go crazy. So I don't know. I don't know how we can even consider ourselves a superior species when we can't even handle a simple disease. Other animals seem to be doing just fine. So anyways, and then what else is going on that people are going crazy about? All the stuff with Trump in the news. It's like people can't just understand that he's just a dude with lots of money, found ways to break the system, corrupt the system, whatever you want to say it. All the big billionaires doing it. He never was a billionaire. About to become one, I guess. But if he doesn't screw up truth in some way, like sell off half of his shares or all of his shares and bankrupt the thing. But anyways, he's just a guy. He hid bad crimes. He hid illegal activities and basically delayed them in court forever. And now they're just coming to fruition. I mean, at some point, you have to deal with shit in court. You can't just constantly just keep burying it, especially when you become president of the United States. When you're a social figure, when you're that big, I mean, you get noticed. Usually when you're ripping off the government and, creating fraud, you don't draw attention to yourself. You don't say, I got all this money. Look at all this money. Because that's going to get the IRS's attention. That's going to get banks' attention. It's going to get everybody's attention. So they're going to start digging. They're figuring things out. It's like, oh, crap. Well, most people stay quiet when they're doing horrible things. But no, not him. He just wants to do horrible things, tell us about it, and then get away with it. I don't know. I mean, any one of us would have already been 10 years in prison sentence by now. But, whatever. I guess there's some perks to being a ex-president. I mean, you got stuff like that. I don't know how it's so hard to just do the simple things. Like, just go about your life. Have your theories, your ideas, but leave them at that. I mean, until there's undeniable proof, like facts that you cannot turn down, like that it is there. I mean, it's written in stone, like this is it. I mean, you can't deny it. It's there. Done deal. Then it's not a thing. I mean, you have to be able to prove it. It has to be concrete. Because I can say all kinds of stuff. Like, I mean, you got these people with the airplane smoke. I mean, I don't know. There's chemtrails. There's, some of it's just, I mean, it's just going on for decades. People just love the idea that they're up there just polluting our skies and shooting down all kinds of horrible things. I mean, maybe there's some weather control, but I really don't think they're using regular airlines to do that. And there's some places that they've been doing it, because there's some places without it, they'll burn to the ground. They need moisture. And it's just not happening naturally where they're doing this stuff at. So it has to happen. I mean, you got places like overseas where huge factories are just polluting the airways, polluting the water. I mean, doing horrible things. And we don't think about it because it's not over here. We don't notice it. We don't notice it, or it's not over here because we're doing climate control things and we're doing things that help keep it at least away from us. Because that does eventually affect the planet. I mean, it's in the sky. They're not just getting a bubble of pollution over Japan or China, wherever these places are with lots of pollution. That has to be managed. And if they're not going to do it, someone has to. So we got to at least control our skies, our weather. I mean, it's not always going to be great stuff. I mean, it takes chemicals to fight chemicals. You can't, I don't care. There's no organic solution to pollution. I mean, there's not. I mean, that almost sounds like a logo or a slogan or something, right? You got to take the good with the bad. So are you able to, I don't know, open a lab and study the clouds in the sky and all that stuff raining down on us, apparently? If not, what are you going to do? You can complain all day long. But if you can't prove anything, you can't test it, you don't have your own means to fight it, I mean, you might as well not add to the problem of chaos and, just enjoy talks and, podcasts, just if you need to go vent it, go vent it. It just seems in 2024, this day and age, we should be farther along mentally. We should be able to understand when you look in the sky, we're not looking at the gods. We're not looking at, magic beams from space. This is like way, it's like, this is back before education stuff. It's like back before people even understood what was going on. We have science now, extremely high science and math, and we're putting rockets in space. We got just billionaires just playing with rockets going into space. So we are a smart, intelligent society. We're just, for some reason, I don't know, we're just giving in to stupidity. We're giving in to the wild ideas and just saying, yeah, that's it. That has to be it. Everybody's attacking meat. It's like, not everybody. I mean, you got the vegetable people. I mean, I'm not against the stuff they talk about, but yeah, there's certain meats out there that aren't processed right, and there's certain farmers that don't take care of their animals. So yeah, you get cancerous meat. You get all this stuff that you see the videos about, but they're not all like that. There are good farmers out there still that don't pollute their animals and just do horrible things to make a buck. Those ones should be thrown in prison. What do? I mean, we're gluttons. We are overeating in this country, the world. If there wasn't such a high demand for a 3-course meal on one course, then maybe they wouldn't have to pump our animals full of steroids just in order to produce more meat and pesticide our vegetables, or GMO everything. I mean, it's our own doing. I mean, we do this stuff and then we bitch about it after the fact, after we've enjoyed it all. So, I mean, it's like a small town that, they don't have Walmarts, they don't have McDonald's, they don't have all these cool luxuries, but they want them. And then they get them, and then they bitch about how the big companies are ruining their small business, and how fast foods are making their kids fat or something. And I don't know. It's just dumb. You'll have areas with no internet. They got dial-up, basically. So kids are forced to do what they can, get bored, and get off it. But no, let's bring in the highest speed internet so we can find. Because it's not fair. We need to have internet. Do we? No, we absolutely do not. But we do, and then we complain that our kids don't play outside. Well, I mean, I don't know. You can't win this. You can't have all the good stuff and none of the bad stuff. They don't go together. It just doesn't. You got to pick what badge you want, because if you have anything in life that you're enjoying right now, like anything, there's bad attached to it. You dig hard enough, you look hard enough at what you're doing, there's bad. I mean, what is there that you get to enjoy right now that isn't something bad attached? Something bad's not happened to somebody, or something environmentally is not being destroyed for that thing. All of it's bad. Anything attached to a human being is bad. I mean, that's it. That's just what we deal with. I mean, we use silverware. Has anybody ever looked into the process of making silverware? It is horrendous. It's a horrible, polluting process. But we don't think about it because we don't see it. The factories aren't in our backyard. We're not watching it leak into our waterways. We're watching it somewhere else, overseas, going to their waterways. So yeah, I mean, what could we do? We could all grow gardens, sure. But what really, I mean, what's involved in a garden to do it with no carbon footprint? There really isn't anything that we can't do. But anyways, I don't know. I mean, the best you can do is live the best life that doesn't do the most damage. I don't know. And maybe that's where this whole electric vehicle thing's coming in. I have high hopes, but right now I don't have a lot of hope for it. I'm hoping that, they'll figure things out. I mean, look at our phones. I mean, those first came out, they were convenient, but it's like, wow, nobody's going to carry this around. This is ridiculous. I mean, car phones, the great big box with the cords hooked to them. I mean, that wasn't convenient. But they found ways. They found ways to make the batteries much smaller. So small to the point where we had to make the phones bigger because it was so inconvenient that they made them so small and easy to handle. So, cars are going to come around. We can't burn fuel forever the way we're burning it. It's never going to go away. We could probably definitely reduce how we use it. I get it. I mean, you got electric vehicles that are essentially getting their power from diesel, but you're talking 100-gallon diesel tank versus, 100 cars with 25-gallon tanks, or trucks with whatever. So the amount of fuel is what's the difference there. I mean, the amount that's being used to power electricity versus the amount being powered to just use straight. Just straight pumping it into vehicles. So there's that. And then the off-gassing. It's like, I mean, electric vehicles, they have their own damaging effects they put out. But nothing like burning fossil fuels out of your exhaust. You can look at it. You can see the crap coming out of your exhaust. I mean, look in the sunlight. You see that distortion. You see, smoke. You see whatever. So you can physically look at it and you can know that that's not good. I mean, that's your proof. You look at it. I mean, you go suck on the end of your exhaust pipe. That's not good. That's pretty good proof. That's if you can't breathe that in out of your exhaust pipe, you probably can't breathe that in your air or your ozone. So that's obvious. I mean, then they got hydrogen cars. That's one I'm kind of thinking is going to be the way. I think that's going to be what takes it, because that's another one they got to perfect it. 'Cause, I mean, it is basically it's a rolling bomb, and some hillbilly or whatever. I mean, they're going to try to tell you tear this car apart, and they're going to try to make it better. Whatever they do, and it's hydrogen. So okay, maybe don't do that. But they're going to. So you're going to have that guy that's going to say, well, I'm not driving hydrogen, but I'm going to put my 454 in there. We'll see what that does. And boom, that's what it does. So I don't know. I mean, it's just endless amounts of things you can do. I mean, here's some ideas. Not ideas, but other things I've noticed. And I'm into it. I mean, I want to try like tiny houses. I know everybody's like, oh God, now what's tiny houses going to hurt? This is the thing. Tiny houses, when they first started, that's what they were. They were basically just a little tiny, one bedroom, just one bedroom, and maybe it's all just that. A bedroom with everything built into it. But now we got these half modular houses with pretty much all of the worst materials that create the most pollution. You got vinyl siding, vinyl windows, metal roofing. Everything inside them is horrible, but they're off the grid. I mean, good job. I mean, you pretty much anything that would have polluted being on the grid or whatever, you destroyed building this thing. But whatever. Tiny houses are cool. And I don't know. I mean, like I said, there's nothing you can't do that doesn't have some kind of horrible footprint that just you can't ever put back. So, I mean, none of us are going to give up our technologies. None of us are ever going to stop driving gas cars as long as we're able to. Only way anything could happen is if it's basically forced on us. Like they just basically take it away. Because what do? I mean, we can complain and moan and bitch all we want. And these billionaires, they close shop. These factories shut down. Government just straight up just stops doing all this stuff. We have no choice. I mean, we will be powerless. I mean, it's not like we, the people, are just going to keep this stuff going because someone's got to pay for it. Someone's got to keep it going. And it's just, we just don't have that. I mean, I don't see our country, America here. I just don't see the ambition in people anymore just to survive, to struggle, to keep it going. They want it basically just given to them, and they want the easy way. Just like that shows it with jobs. I mean, there used to be a day where people were happy just to have a job. It was like a social status to say, I have a job. I have a full-time job. I work my ass off, and I'm proud of that. But not now. Now it's like, oh, I have a job. I work my ass off. Oh, it's horrible. Everything that we used to like about our jobs and, the satisfaction and all that stuff that came from it, accomplishments, we look at it negative now. I mean, you can't even get a kid to work at McDonald's, knowing that they're only going to be there for maybe a 2-year tops, so they shouldn't give a damn what they're making. But they do. I mean, they want top dollar. They want $20 an hour. I mean, for an 8-hour shift that maybe is 3 days, 4 days. I mean, what else are you doing if you're not doing that? Living in your mom's basement, playing Xbox, making no money? I mean, I don't know. I really don't want to work at all, go into the workforce as adults and expect someone just to hire them on the good graces that they might show up to work. I don't know. It just confuses me. It's like, I don't think anybody should work for free or, overwork themselves for nothing. But there's times where, I've had jobs and I put in an extra hour just basically to make my next day easier for me. I mean, maybe I didn't get paid for that, but for me, my peace of mind, it helped me go home relaxed. So, but no one thinks that way no more. They just want to be relaxed all day long, do the bare minimum, and get paid top dollar for that. No, I don't think that should be a thing. I don't think anybody's job should be protected. I think they definitely need to have some kind of clause, even in unions. Like, if you're not doing your part, if you're not doing something that helps your coworkers, the company, the basic reason you were there to be working, then why? Why should you be protected? Then this should go for Congress, everything. Right up to president. Don't deal with the impeachment process. Let's not deal with the voting process. It's just, you're not doing your job. You're here for us. You're here to help the company. You're here to help your coworkers. You're here to make a difference and help. And if you're not doing that, then you're gone. I'm sorry. I mean, you're gone. I mean, it's simple. I mean, that might be harsh. I mean, it just seems like when there's no fear of losing your job or no fear of anything, you're not going to try. It's just like, when I was a kid, I'm not saying spanking kids is a great thing, and it doesn't really even need to be done. There's a lot of things that would have taken a lot longer and been a lot more difficult if my parents tried to just talk it out with me. So, and I'm not saying I got beat. I mean, I'm just saying just that fear. The fear that there could be a belt waiting when I get home. It's like, maybe I won't do that. Maybe I won't, throw a rock through that window. That doesn't sound like fun later. So, but I mean, if I throw a rock through the window while my mom says, "Did you learn a lesson? Do you need to sit down? I'm gonna probably take your Switch away for at least till dinner time. Okay, you sit and think what you did. No, you're gonna go the next day and throw another fucking rock. So, I mean, until a law gets a hold and throws you in jail and you're all upset because they didn't give you a talking to. I don't know. So, I'm just saying there's something definitely broken in society in our world, because it doesn't feel like it should be this difficult to do a simple thing and just use a little common sense. If someone wants to tell you that like your politician is doing this, and they're corrupt, it's like you can, yeah, I'm sure. I mean, mine is too, probably. You should be able to have a conversation about that. It should be instantly, you're wrong, I'm right, and that's just the way it is. And that's the way it is right now. It's crazy. People are voting for stuff just out of spite. Because I believe there's people out there that vote for Biden or Trump or just anybody, people in Congress. It's just out of spite, out of the fact that they're so involved at this point, they can't turn. They can't reverse everything they've done. Because you go all in. I mean, when you go all in like that, you can't just admit wrong. You don't even got to admit wrong. People, that's the way they think. They think if they vote for Trump one year and they have the signs out, the flags flying, I mean, they're all in. But they don't understand that if you just took the signs down, took the flags down, I mean, vote whatever you want, no one's gonna know or care. Nobody cares. When it comes down to it, we didn't care before. We don't care now. You should be able to look at politicians and look at them just as people, not as your savior, not as someone's going to save America, because they're not going to do that. They don't have the power. They don't have the ability. They definitely don't have the skills. We do all that. They don't do it for us. We got to stop thinking in a way that it's just one or the other. Because anybody gets elected for anything. I mean, other than representatives. Representatives are the only ones I think that really have to represent a certain group of people. But when you're president, or anybody that's should be bipartisan, I mean, really, because in a position like that, you're for the people. I mean, it sounds dopey and sappy, but that's it. I mean, you're president of the United States, not president of the Republicans, not president of the Democrats. I mean, you are president of the people. So you got to abolish all of your party ways of thinking. I mean, it's done. It's dead. You are no longer in that frame of thought. You got to find some middle grounds that everybody can agree to. Everybody of the majority of everybody. Not just majority of a certain party, because it's always going to fall apart. It's never going to be good. So every 4 years we have to reset. That's why other countries that have dictators do. I mean, they're not, I don't know, doing better, but they're consistent. That's the thing. That's the consistency. Their lives suck, but their life consistently sucks. So if we get to a point where our lives are doing good, like overall across the board doing good, it'd be nice if it consistently did that versus the up and downs we have. So we got to find a way to have everybody get along in a way that we're not constantly tearing each other down, not always trying to give our guy the win. This border patrol, border security stuff. I mean, it's a very, very hard thing to tackle. Because you only have so many people that can watch that border. And then at what point do they say, I'm not putting myself at risk for this? I mean, these are guys that want to go home to their kids at the end of the day. They're not going to put their lives at risk we have a process. We have to do what we do until we have a better process. And the way Congress is fighting, it's never going to be better because they're just going to hold off. I mean, they got it. As far as I know, they got a really good plan put together. that the Republicans actually put together that Biden was ready to sign off on. So let's do that. But no, we want to wait till Trump's in office so he can sign it and he can be the hero. So, and it just goes both ways. Like if Trump would have came up with an awesome plan, I'm sure somehow that would have got postponed until Biden can sign it. That's the vicious circle we have, and it makes no sense. So I think if there's ever a chance any partisan bill has ever tried to pass, everybody involved in that bill should be fired, because it's obviously a one-sided partisan bill. That's not racist, but it's basically, you're picking your people over other people. So how is that not segregation of some sort? You're not worrying about what other people's thoughts are. You're not worrying about the way they think or what they want, what makes their lives easy. I don't think rich should be making all the choices. They do. The problem is with the rich for us is they do control all of our luxuries. They make our luxuries. They put a lot of stuff on Elon's shoulders, which I don't think he's the mastermind to a lot of things he talks about. I think he's just some rich guy that bought Tesla, and he's got a lot of scientists and people that work for him. I don't know, but they have the money to back it up. Without them, all this stuff just goes away. Or other companies, they'll buy it up, and we got to rely on China and Japan, Russia, whoever buys it up. So I don't know. Rich should pay their taxes. I know this is a little off subject again, but that should be, I don't know. If they don't want to pay taxes, it should go towards something. There's so many ways that money could help. It doesn't have to be towards taxes. It could be towards anything. We got lotteries, 2 different lotteries now that hit $1 billion each, constantly. You're telling me we can put together billions of dollars in a month for a lottery, but we can't put billions of dollars together just to help out our fellow people? Everybody's bitching about homeless, laying on the streets and stuff. They weren't always like that. It's like that they weren't born and then just laid on the sidewalk. So these people are people that had lives at one time. Nobody grows up thinking, I'm going to be homeless someday. I can't wait to live on the side of the road in negative 20-degree weather. So awesome. No. How about we build a program that rebuilds these people's lives? Gives them an avenue to maybe go redo their education, or even just, who knows, maybe these are people that had good businesses and they lost. Their pride got them on the streets because they couldn't ask for help. That's a strong human being, not a weak one, for those ones. A lot of veterans, they came back from war, and a lot of them need help. Some of them are the same situation. They just came back, when they left, 18, 20-somethings, lots of dreams. Maybe their life was going well. Maybe they were married, had kids, but it was too much on the marriage, and they lost everything, and their pride stuck them on the street. That can be rebuilt. You just got to do it in a way with dignity. Make programs, make things where they can lift themselves up, instead of us just building houses and putting them in them, because you're just adding to the problem. You're not giving them any pride. You're not giving them anything to look forward to. They didn't do anything to earn that. In their minds, they think they should earn their money. Homeless people, they're not all just lazy. They're not all looking for a handout. They just want a hand. There's programs like that. I don't have the answers, because there's people that work on those answers. So you're a person, like if I was president, I'd come with these ideas, and you hire the people that can implement these ideas, that have experience in how to do these ideas. So that's what president and people that work in government, that's what they're supposed to do. That is their main goal, is humanity. Help humanity succeed. And everything else just follows suit. I don't know. It seems like as a country, we're just focused on all the wrong things. We're focused on trying to protect politicians that, why? Why do we care? We don't need to protect politicians. They made their bed. They did what they did. So yeah, if they committed crimes, they're going to jail. If they're not going to jail, they're at least not going to be in government rest of their lives. I mean, where they can do damage. So there's got to be something we can do. I mean, you can't let it roll as it's going. We got too many people out there throwing out just false ideas, hating groups for no reason. You got people, this whole LGBTQ thing, athletes, trans athletes, just whatever. It's just, I mean, there's things that we got to figure out how to make it work because, I mean, it does complicate stuff, but we'll get there. I mean, you really can't just throw that into the loop because, I mean, it's been around forever, but we're embracing it. That's the thing. We're looking at it. We're talking. We're trying to figure it out. But to just shut it down, really for something that's not even, most of the time, any of our problems. You'll have so many people out there, they'll be bitching about abortion or bitching about, like I said, the gay rights, stuff like that. Things that, for most people that are complaining about it are the ones it has no effect on. So they shouldn't even get to say. I mean, unless you have, a gay child in family, someone that's curious about being a trans or working on being a trans, you shouldn't get to say how you feel about it because you're not dealing with it. I mean, unless you have some really good ideas on how to make it work. Just stuff like that. If it's not your problem, don't worry about it unless you have a solution because you're not doing nothing but adding to the hate and the problems. What do I care about your opinion if you don't have any stake in the opinion? I mean, if it doesn't affect you, I don't care what you have to say. Abortion, I mean, technically we all should have a say in that, but not so much. The fact that we all have females in the families, yes, we should have a concern, but it comes down to those females. They're the ones that have a say because in most cases, no one's ever going to have to deal with abortion. Very seldom people really deal with it unless, there's situations. Medical. I mean, medical is probably the one that really is the most serious and the most common. Because people aren't just going out there and just, just having abortions for fun. I mean, nobody does that for fun. I don't care how nonchalant you are about it. It weighs on a person's mind. I would have to assume it does. If I had a preteen daughter that, I don't know, made a stupid mistake, I don't know. I would feel bad because, can make your life as easy as possible, but her life is basically forever changed. Now, if she wanted to keep it, what do you do? I mean, you can't not keep it then. And if she doesn't want to keep it, you'd have conversations. You would say, "Are you sure? Think this out." I mean, because sometimes, it's a big deal. And, little kids always want the easy way out, just like adults. So if you tell them, "Yeah, we can go do this and wipe this right out," they'll say, "Oh, yeah, let's go do that." Then you got to be realistic and tell them, well, here's what happens when you do this. Here's what you're going to be thinking about the rest of your life. Here's what you're going to think every time you get pregnant or try to get pregnant or whatever. You're going to be thinking about this. You got to keep that in the back of your mind. You can't just go let them do stuff and just all of that. I mean, when they're kids, up to 18, 25. I mean, hell, even 40, who knows? It's just hard to make a life-changing decision by yourself. So it's good to have somebody with some knowledge. Unfortunately, that knowledge is coming from social media right now. So that's the scary part. Social media and people working in Congress and stuff that have no clue because they've never had a hard day of life in their life. So they have no clue. All they know is they're making a paycheck and they don't want to lose that. So they'll market to the crazy if the crazy's paying the bill. Or really, most of the people in Congress that are against abortion are the same ones that have received many of them. So some of that was rambling. Some of that was, I don't know, maybe educational. I'm just saying, keep an open mind. When you hear a conspiracy, when you see something in the news, I mean, you gotta got to use your brain a little bit. I mean, you've been around through a lot of presidents. You've been around through a lot of events, situations, shootings, law changes, everything, climate. I mean, you've been through it all. You've all been through it. So these aren't new things. We've dealt with it. We worked with it. We grew. It's going to happen. It's going to continue to happen. We're a growing population. We're making more money. We're making more technology. So numbers go up. The numbers that we thought were huge 10 years ago aren't huge anymore. You know, they're talking billions of dollars today. That was millions 10 years ago. So it changes. And in our lifetime, we're probably going to deal with trillions. So we're going to have trillionaires. We're going to have multi-trillion-dollar budgets because that's just where it's at. I mean, at some point, we will run out of resources to fund the money. So we will find new ways, which is where the electronic money is coming from. Because right now, that's the next best solution until they find a rock in space, blow the crap out of it, and bring that to the planet. Which I'm pretty sure, there's a conspiracy for you. I'm pretty sure they're probably working on that. So, or mining the moon, who knows? We'll destroy that in the process to make a buck, I'm sure. Be vigilant as far as keep an eye on stuff, watch it, and if you can't solve the grand picture of it, fix yourself, fix your family, focus on that, because that's really all you have control of. It can't go crazy forever. I mean, at some point, we're either going to kill ourselves off or it's just going to level out. These old timers, they can't last forever. You're going to get these new generations that are hopefully not too screwed up and lazy and just messed up from us. I don't know. That's all you can do. Just hope. I mean, praying is your thing. That's basically the same thing as hope. So do that too. I guess it helps you sleep at night. Don't rely on prayers, religion, politicians. Just live life, do your thing, work, be proud of your job, be proud of your family, do your best to do your best, and, try to find some time to relax in there, do things with your family, hang out with your kids. For this episode, that's all I got. Just more or less, things just building up. Eventually, you had to let it out. I mean, I take on guests once in a while, so if you hear any of this and you want to come at me for any of it or agree or just throw out your 2 cents just to vent, we can do that too. There's multiple ways I can handle that. So yeah, check me out. I'm on most of the platforms. If you see a spot that allows stars or reviews, whatever, throw something out there. It's always nice just to see something negative, positive, it's all basically same algorithm. So yeah, there you go. I'm sure I'll have something else to complain about, but until then, I'm Rob. Just talking at you. Talk at you later.